morning, Raiders. It's me, Mrs. Swanson, and I'm coming to you from Raider Blue to talk to you about a dystopian novel. It's the first of a three-part series called Uglies. It's by Scott Westerfeld, and it takes place in a futuristic time where people get to trade out their ugly appearance for pretty. And it happens around when they're 16. So this individual, the main character, is Tally, and she's 15 years old, and she's about to approach that time period where she's going to undergo a surgery to help her become pretty. She's not certain this is the route for her, and her society is the one who's pushing for this. Obviously, everyone who turns this age welcomes this complicated surgery to make them pretty. It really is a novel that lets you think really hard about how beauty comes from within and not from that external appearance. I want to talk to you really quick, though. We've been talking about types of conflict, and I know you all have been writing your personal narrative. There's always a conflict to those narratives. And in this narrative, it is really character versus society. So you've seen this graph in my room, and we've been talking about this. I wanted to pay reference to that. I'm going to do the same thing that I do when I look at another book. I'm going to look at how Scott hooks you right in. But I do want to pay mention that your summary is up on the board, along with, remember, we talked about common sense rating. I took a snip of that common sense rating. If you're ever concerned about the book you're reading, you can always type in your book title and it'll give you kind of the feedback of what kids say the age limit should be and what adults say. So check that out, Common Sense Media. Here we go. Part 1, Turning Pretty. New pretty in town. The early summer sky was the color of cat vomit. Of course, Tally thought, you'd have to feed your cat only salmon-colored flavored cat food for a while to get the pinks right. The scuttling clouds did look a bit fishy, rippled into scales by a high-altitude wind. As the light faded, deep blue gaps of night peered through an upside-down ocean, bottomless and cold. Any other summer, a sunset like this would have been beautiful, but nothing had been beautiful since Paris turned pretty. Losing your best friend sucks, even if it's only for 3 months and 2 days. Now, that was the lead here. We've been talking about leads and hooks. Clearly, that was a setting snapshot. Tally Youngblood was waiting for darkness. She could see the new pretty town through her open window. The party towers were already lit up, and the snakes' burning torches marked flickering pathways through the pleasure gardens. A few hot air balloons pulled at their tethers against the darkening pink sky, their passengers shooting safety fireworks at other balloons and passing parasailers. Laughter and music skipped across the water like rocks thrown just at the right spin, their edges just as sharp as Tally's nerves. Around the outskirts of the city, cut off from the town by the black oval of the river, everything in darkness. Everyone ugly was in bed by now. Tally took off her inner face ring and said, "Good night." "Sweet dreams, Tally," said the room. She chewed at a toothbrush pill, punched her pillows, and shoved an old portable heater, one that produced about as much warmth as a sleeping, Tally-sized human being under the covers. Then she crawled out the window. Outside, the night finally turned cold black above her head. Tally instantly felt better. Maybe this was the stupid plan, but anything was better than another night awake, in bed, feeling sorry for herself. On the familiar leafy path down the water's edge, it was easy to imagine Paris stealing silently behind her, stifling laughter, ready for a night of spying in the new pretties. Together, she and Paris had figured out how to trick the house minder back when they were 12, when 3-month difference in their ages seemed like it would never matter. "Best friends for life," Allie muttered, fingering the tiny scar on her right palm. The water glistened through the trees, and she could hear the wavelets of passing river skimmers wake slapping at the shore. She ducked, hiding in the reeds. Summer was always the best time for spying expeditions. The grass was high, it was never cold, and you didn't have to stay awake through the school the next day. Now, I'm going to tell you this is a story about Tally. She's going to befriend someone, and they are going to figure out how to avoid becoming pretty. Enjoy this book. Go ahead and grab it. It's in our library, one of the back shelves. Take care.